So the thing is, I was looking at the reels on Facebook, you know. I get a lot of reels of female comics and comic actors, because, you know, you look at one thing and they show you more of that thing, and I just like these. I like to hear the women talking at me. What can I say? Especially if they're funny. There's this one I just watched the very beginning, and I didn't know her, you know, somebody new, don't know who it was, but she started out saying, so the thing is, so that's why from now on, whenever I do anything, I'm gonna, you know, start out by saying, so the thing is, I'm gonna turn off the light in the kitchen. It's too much focus on the unused vacuum cleaner. Not all the light in the kitchen, just that bright one. I'll watch this later and I'll think, I meant to start that vacuuming a couple weeks ago. Because it could stand to be just a bit more hygienic in here when I come home from surgery in a few days. But one of the many details I should be attending to. So I got my mandolin out because I skipped that Lonesome Train, which is yesterday, that's the one I skipped, and it's, you know, it's one of the theme songs. We've been doing that since 1967, although Ed used to play the mandolin and I played the guitar. And then I was, you know, all alone, and so I started playing the mandolin because it's all about the mandolin. And then when we would get together, we'd have two mandolins. And at one point, the arrangement was getting pretty good. And there's one live recording of that where, once again, the recording levels got totally off and it was way too loud and distorted. The last song in the set wasn't time to adjust. And things changed with more people coming up on stage. So yeah, the usual doom, recording doom. And I've told this story of you know, the Cow Cow Blues, Jackson stomped that Lonesome Train off the wall, the mess around, so many times. I'm sure you've all heard it, haven't you? And if you haven't, just, you know, message me. We'll chat. Found something wrong. That little baby was on that train and gone. Now wants to starts my jumpers, I'm my old horse. I'm going to ride that train that they call the cannonball. Depot agent, turn your depot round. My loving baby, ain't bound to blow this town. Now it's me, an old fireman, cool tell you what that train will do. It'll take your woman and run right over you. Now that engine near a man ought to be ashamed of himself. He's taking the women from their husbands, babies from their mother's breasts. Sure you got the right fret this time? Maybe you should pick up the instrument before you start streaming. I said, depot here, John, turn your depot round. My loving baby, well, she's bound to blow this town. Now it's me, an old fire moon, crude old engineer. Well, he is taking that train and leaving me lonesome here. Yeah, well, like I said, no preparation, no warm-up. Lots of worry and nervousness about the camera operation. Battery running out tonight, probably. Had that weird echo last night. I'm still not sure what that was. I mean, it may have been set to monitor or something. Maybe it was picking something up off a speaker. Seems like maybe it was just the position of the mic far enough away that it was coming back from outer space. Picking up those just slightly out of phase, you know, by some light years, frequencies from outer space. Well, that was the worst version of that song that I've done in 30 years, so you're very welcome. You're very lucky to have been there for that. And now, as I said, sometimes I run into some stuff better known, been done by other people. I try to avoid that, but sometimes I just get into a thing. And at some point, I guess I got into Hank Williams there in the early 70s. Well, actually, I got into Hank quite a bit. Yeah, before I came back to Columbus, when I was up on the coast in British Columbia, and staying in the little house on Route 1, and with the hippie cows living behind us. We were on the property of some people. The younger generation had these Highland cows, had long bangs and bushy hair. They were very cute. And on the other side, there was the older generation guy whose side yard I lived in later when I got, I came back and I wasn't part of the family anymore. And I took the little trailer that nobody had lived in for quite a while, little tiny trailer, one of those things where they just have the sheet metal bent over like this. And he used to be a mill worker up there in Powell River, Twin Rivers. They had the highest per capita rate of heroin addiction, either in British Columbia or in all of Canada. I can't remember, because they had a pulp mill up there. And he was an old pulp mill worker. He was in his 80s. Couldn't hear very well, so he was always listening to the news. It cranked up really loud on the radio so I could hear it across the driveway. And the driveway had oyster shells, various kinds of shells probably. They would get run over by vehicles and made them perfect for the gullets of his chickens. And one of his chickens adopted me, and out in the little bush right outside the door of my trailer, the chicken would lay one perfect brown egg every morning. I'd find it there when I looked out. But that was later. This was when I was first up there. I would be in the little house and cook a perfect macrobiotic dinner, and then my ice cream craving would get the better of me, and I would walk to the one establishment that existed a mile up the road where they had a little bit of everything. They had a little ice cream, various dinners, and a jukebox. And best thing on the jukebox probably was this Hank Williams record. I played that over and over again. It wasn't this record, but this is one of the ones that I used to like to do. I used to know the words at one time. We'll see how that goes. I always say I don't eat meat, and I don't know Jesus personally, but I still sing about both those subjects anyway, because they got the good songs. This key. Once was a sinner, once I did sin, I wouldn't let my dear Savior in. Jesus came and drove me in. Praise the Lord. I saw the light. I said I saw the light. I saw the light. No more darkness, no more night. Now I have traded the wrong for the right. I said praise the Lord. I saw the light. I was a fool to wander and way, straight is the way, narrow the gate, my eyes will turn neither left nor the right. I said praise the Lord. I saw the light. I saw the light. I saw the light. No more darkness, no more night. Now I'm happy, no sorrows inside. I said praise the Lord. I saw the light. All right, I don't remember. I'll remember in about 5 minutes that other verse that I liked so much. And of course, I changed the one verse that was more, you know, like a Zen meditation version. I saw the light. And then I got another Hank song that's even more well known coming up probably. So I read this story once. The story was told by Hank's driver on his final tour. And somewhere in the dark of night in Ohio, maybe heading to that concert in Dayton. And Hank was lying in the back seat in all kinds of pain from his spina bifida and full of painkillers and whatever other drugs he could get his hands on and alcohol. Driver notices that on the radio Hank's song has come on. He turns it up. I saw the light, that previously mentioned light. And he says, "Hey, Hank, there's your song on your radio." And Hank says, "You know, the thing is, there is no light." And who knows? I guess he found out one way or another before very long there, as we all will sooner or later. I hope there was. I hope he was proven wrong and said, by golly. Sounds too blue to cry. Midnight train is winding low, and I'm so lonesome I could cry. I've never seen night so long. Time goes crawling by. Just went behind a cloud to hide its face and cry. Shakes the willow tree and rushes to the pine and leaves the willow weeping there, and I'm so shaken I could cry. silence of falling stars lights up a purple sky. And as I wonder where you are, well, I'm so lonesome I could fly. I had this one guitar student, some sort of sociologist at OSU. He wrote a book involved this kind of music. North Carolina mill workers occasionally verged into something reminiscent of protest songs. Some of them were very surprised to find out that they might be suspected of anti-American sentiments or something, just because they talked about how they were abused in the mill. They thought you know, it was just some humorous commentary for their neighbors. This was actually the sequel song, I guess. Was the first one I heard. It's done by the New Lost City Ramblers, of course, when I was mid-teen. And this guy who wrote the book, you know, I said, oh yeah, I know that song. He said, why would someone like you be doing a song like that? How did that happen? I said, well, I just heard it and I liked it, you know. Dave McCarn, still, who wrote this. See how much I remember this. This is a chronological story, so the dates help a little bit, but maybe not that much. Like I said, I'm not reviewing, I'm not reading, I'm not doing it right. I'm just getting through it, getting it out there. Now people in the year 1920, mills run good, everybody had plenty. Lots of people with a good free will sold their homes and moved to the mill. We'll have lots of money, they said, but everyone got hell instead. It was funny in the mountains, rolling logs. Now when the whistle blows, they run like dogs. Shoots us people and serves them fine, thinking that a mill was a darn gold mine. Then in the year 1925, mill's still working, we're still alive. People keep coming when the weather was fine, just like they was going to a big gold mine. Time passed on, their money did too. Everyone began to feel kind of blue. If they had any sense up in our dome, still be living in a mountain home. Shoots us people and serves us fine, thinking that a mill was a darn gold mine. Now in the year 1930, mills gone bust and they do us dirty. If we ever do manage to get ahead, seems like all of the mills go dead. No use to college and there's no use to shirt. There's more people loafing than there are at work. Suits us people and it serves us fine, thinking that a mill was a darn gold mine. Now come on, you mountaineers, and listen to me. Take off your hats and holler whoopee. Back home to my land in the sky, where we all drink moonshine and never do die. Lie in the fields while the moon shines bright. Hunt coot and possum the whole darn night. If you haven't got the money, get away. Well, it's too darn, folks, you got to stay. Suits us people and it serves them fine for thinking that a mill was a darn gold mine. It was a cotton mill colic. No use to colic. Now is the time in the land of high humidity and ran out of the slightly lighter strings that I had shifted to. So we're back to the world of pretty relatively heavy strings and high action. None of that slinky barely touch 'em, crank it up stuff here, folks. I'm lucky if I can push them down at all at this point. But of course I do a little better if I, practice and go over the lyrics and but no, that's not what we're here for. We're here to just go down the list and say these are our songs. They're in us. They're part of us. And all I care about is feeling it one more time before I die, whatever it is. But what I'm trying to say is, if you have an opportunity for me to come do a house party or a yard event or something, I'll go over a few of them and maybe get a couple of more verses in. And maybe I'll put some lighter strings on to accommodate my age. But this guy who worked on my guitar last, he was talking about my string gauge, and he said, "Oh, that's okay when you're young, but when you get older, what do you think I'm getting older? 20 somethings, jeez." Tempted and tried will of me to wander, why it should be thus all day long, while there are never more molested, though in the wrong. Farther along we'll know all about it. Farther along understand why. Cheer up, my brothers, live in the sunshine. We'll understand it all by and by. When death has come and taken our loved ones, leaving our home so desperate and drear, that's when we wonder why others prosper, living so sinful year after year. Father, farther along we'll understand why. Cheer up, my brothers, live in the sunshine. We'll understand it all by and by, all by and by. Faithful to death, said our loved Master. A few more years to labor and wait, but there's no torture struggle in the hereafter. When we sweep through the heavenly gate, farther along we'll know all about it. Farther along we'll understand why cheer up, my brothers, live in the sunlight. We'll understand it all by and by, all by and by. Well, I never even did this one. This was Rick used to do this. And, but you know, it's a fine old song. Same old man. Like so many other people, our version is thanks to the creative alterations made in the traditional text by Mr. Steve Weber, half of the original Holy Modal Rounders. He had this on their first album, where there was the best evidence of his crazy young genius. There were many albums after that. We'd get a glimpse of it from time to time, but he was bad boy. But these few little things he did changed the world. I'll tell you, changed the world. Of course, I knew the older version from Pete Seeger when I was much younger. And I bet he played it in A. That's going to be either too low or too high for me, though. I think we're in D. At the mill turns around of its own free will. One hand in the hopper and the other in the sack. Ladies come forward and the gents fall back. With the same old lady hanging out the wash. Now she's wearing Macintosh. Hanging out her wash in the middle of the rain, while New York was going insane. slightly brown. Well, it's why don't you hop back up on the tree? Turn your color green the way you ought to be. And it's the same old man sitting at the mill, and the mill turns around. It's on the freeway, one hand in the hopper, the other in the sack. Ladies come forward and the gents fall back, and the same old man sitting at the mill, mill turns around. And the other inside. Leaders come forward and the gents fall back. They come forward and the gents fall back. Leaders come forward and the gents fall back. I said a little leathering bad. I'll tell you the reason that I fly by night, 'cause I lost my heart's delight. Have I mentioned how much I hate this damn shit that these Medicaid dentists did to my teeth? Well, we're going to take a pass on this one. Well, maybe we'll get to it later if I can find any trace of these lyrics. This was another one of those teenage things I wrote. It was a rewrite of one of those old ballads that, you know, there were all these versions in the British Isles. And then there was like a hillbilly version, and Soldier and the Lady. It was, and I just did one of those things where I used some elements of the original narrative structure and turned the story 180 degrees on its head, and as far as its meaning and its character and its tone and its outcome. Yeah, I have to dig that out. It was a weird one. Instead of, it's got the, like the Soldier and the Lady, you know, it's down by the river in the spring. I remember this much. And it's got the, you know, anonymous narrator who's apparently watching from the bushes as the Soldier and the Lady, you know, have sex, and then he informs her they can't marry her because, you know, one wife is more than enough. And so that was a fairly pleasant little story, you know. There was some betrayal, but, you know, they had sex on a nice spring day down by the river. My story was about the soldier doesn't show up at all, or he's the guy watching from the bushes and he fails to take action as this young woman who is unfortunately living too close to the river when she's having a bad day and she's oversensitive. And, you know, it's one of those suicide songs that I was so into in my youth. I guess I still am. Here's another thing Weber sang with the Holy Modal Rounders years later, but it was a Michael Hurley song that Michael hadn't even recorded. This was on the Rounders Nashville album, which could have been their big commercial break if somebody hadn't messed up the mix, promoted it wrong. It did get a review in Rolling Stone finally, and they were like, this is pleasant, good time music. You know, they failed to catch the true significance of it all. Now, Weber's voice was surprisingly smooth at these sessions after having totally lost it at the Hollywood Electra thing, you know, where they ended up up having a track, getting on Easy Rider and everything. It still didn't make any money. He got to sing this one with the sort of famous, amongst, you know, those of us who knew her anyway, Tracy Nelson from Mother Earth. And it was on the flip side of one of the singles of Weber's song Boobs a Lot. They put out two different versions of the single because apparently, you know, went good in college bar jukeboxes or something. I don't know how it goes. We just change it as we go along. Love is the closest thing we can do. Love cannot be a dream for too long. Baby, here we are. Don't you think that the time is right for us to make love tonight? Don't want to talk, tell stories the way I feel. Rather let us dwell in the glory of love surreal. Baby, here we are. Don't you think that the time is right for us to make love tonight? Through the window, how can you see? Stars are blooming like flowers in meadows deep. Baby, here good night for now.